Hello everyone, welcome to our episode Showcase on Warframe. It's a day early, because probably won't get it out in time, that's why it's a day early. Today's weapon, the Buzlok. Not one of those weapons that was put off because of the update, where it got buffed. As you could tell, it's probably annoyed and relieved of that at the same time. So the Buzlok. It's a weird weapon. Greener-wise, it is a weapon that can home on to the enemy using a beacon. Very simple, use secondary fire, you tag your enemy, and the bullets will follow that opponent. To a certain degree, anyway. It's not 100% homing, but it is acceptable amount. We see it's mainly an impact weapon with a little bit of puncture. Critical chance is mediocre, and status isn't so great. Reload time is 3 seconds. And in terms of everything else, it's pretty decent. Got a large magazine. What bugs me, though, is the hidden stats. Yes, even after showing the beacon stats, there's still hidden stats. I'll also mention it here. When you do tag an opponent with a beacon, it adds an extra 50% critical chance on that target. They don't really mention that. It's pretty stupid in my opinion that they went to the effort to make the hidden stats available and then still hide stats. Oh, that irks me a lot. So in total, the critical chance will be 65% when enemies tagged. Now, if you wish to find this weapon, go to your dojo if you do have one. You'll find the chemical laboratory at the very bottom. Now, to make the Buzlok, it's not very expensive. You need 30,000 credits, 2 Dana ejectors, 600 circuits, 5,000 salvage, and a Forma, which I never had because I do this whole YouTube series on Warframe. Forma day is not nearly quick enough. It is certainly not. It's the reason why I gotta make this weekly. Moving on. Alright, for additional information, you can see it's a fully functional scope, although it's for medium to short range, not a very good one. Now, you see when I fire it, it has tracer rounds, and the accuracy, it's okay. But the tracer rounds are interesting. I don't think any other weapon uses them. Now, when you go on a scope, you realize the recoil is difficult to work with. This is not a long-range weapon unless you tag your opponent. So yeah, reload, it's okay, and you can see that the homing rounds does not exactly work. You must do it on soft targets, not hard targets. By soft targets, I mean actual opponents. So we got this little butcher here. I'll intentionally miss. You see I miss. I tag him with one bullet, and I'm not aiming at him. You can see the bullets are curving, and he's already dead. Now let's try against 3 targets to get a little more dramatic about this, how this thing arcs. It arcs in 90-degree angles. It's not going to turn at 180 and turn around. No, it must travel straight and then turn, as you see. I can miss, although it can hit. Now, visually, the weapon is unremarkable. Well, I can say at least it's the most clean-looking Greener weapon and the longest. Although that shell on it pretty much holds all components that make it interesting, though. Well, it is pretty clean-looking and looks alright. Now on the side here, it has a little Greener text that says, "Do not tuck." It means do not touch, except the H is missing from their Greener language. I didn't translate that, so take it with a grain of salt if you will. Otherwise, nothing else remarkable. And here is my almost an ultimate build. That's right, I kind of skimped out of this one because I put 4 form in it and I didn't want to put a 5th one. I was sick of using it, and when I looked up my stats, I kind of was happy where it was. I could have put an extra form, put I don't know, a piercing caliber on there to get more puncture damage, but I figured it'd be a moot point. Alright, as you see I got plenty of impact. I got roughly 700, which is not bad for an automatic machine gun, and viral. How I achieved this? Serration and split chamber for base damage. Crash, of course, for more impact damage, and that's what I majored in. And I put Malignant Force and Rhyme rounds to get the status chance and the viral proc. I put fast hands to lower that reload time to almost 2 seconds. And Vital Sense, since you don't really need Point Strike unless you really want it. Point Strike, well, Vital Sense will increase the critical damage, and when I tag opponent, then that means I'll do a lot more critical damage. Alright, now for River Mod, you couldn't blame me for going balls deep with this one. 300% damage and 180% status chance. That's how I got 62% status chance on the Buzlok from 10%. So yeah, this mod alone made an elemental weapon. And a critical also has a critical build. So with these two combined, does it make it a good weapon? Well, I have to argue no. You know my The revival mod does let me have minus zoom by 50%, but that's a very minor thing. The weapon is a little difficult to wield, and I'll go over that when facing these Grineer, and I'll put them to level, roughly level 80. Okay. Now, as you noticed, the projectile speed is not exactly great. It is a bit of an irritating point, and if enemies are hiding behind cover, unless you put punch through, it will not strike cover and hit the hard targets. So that can be pretty annoying. As you see, tagging onto opponents is almost a necessity, because the travel time makes it impossible to hit targets at long range if they're moving. A close range weapon is alright. It's not horrible. But at medium to long range, it's not a very suitable weapon. Alternatively, if you don't want to be shot at, you could tag your opponent and hide around a corner and fire on that corner. So you can see he's tagged and my bullets are arcing around, although I'll fire from the other end and I know when my bullets fly straight, he is dead. Or 14 seconds at fast, which is the time where that beacon expires. But in that time you should kill your opponent, and if it takes longer than 14 seconds, you should use something else. Now, another problem I have with this weapon is its problem to fire around exact corners. As most weapons don't have a problem, and you can fire on the corners, this one has trouble doing so. It usually strikes those corners pretty easily. But oh well. Against the Grineer, it's an alright weapon. They single out, they spread out, and it's pretty easy to take them down. Let's go against some Corpus Moas. Let's see, here they are. I'll grab about 12 of them, or 11, 10 or so. And I'll put them up to level 90. Now, I'm not sure what the devs fed the Corpus, but they've been really accurate. I swear these guys have sniper rifles on them as of late. So this is the best shot I got, with me living as long as possible. For some reason, the MOAs are like, they have been fed steroids. Not really defensive-wise, but offensive-wise, I could barely get a beat on them. So you see me firing around the corners, sorry for the crappy shots, or shooting of the footage, but you can see it's decent enough. It's not the best weapon, but it's an acceptable weapon. It is decent against the Cormoas, if you can stand in front of them longer than a few seconds. For me, that didn't really happen, at all. Kept getting shot down, regardless. But it's an okay weapon, but the MOAs make it difficult with their swarm attacks. Okay, enough MOAs. I'm sick of dying anyway. Now, going on to chargers, I'll grab 20 of them, level 90, same as the Corpus. I don't have to worry about them shooting at me, at least not entirely. And the weapon is acceptable. Using a homing attack with the infestation, unless you have punch through, is quite pointless. You tag someone and they're going to be in the body pile a mass attack that's going to be coming at you like a Zerg rush. So if you have punch through, it will hit your targets. If you don't, it will probably hit his friend in front of him that's charging around him. So it's up to you if you really think this weapon is really worth fighting the infestation with. I don't really think it is. I think there certainly are better weapons. It just makes the cut, sort of. In the end, I think a lot of the small things that irritate me kind of ruin this weapon for me. It's just very annoying to use, in my opinion. But how well does it do against the strongest armor in the game, a level 140 heavy gunner? Well, aside from having that problem firing on corners and I have to expose myself, I just tag my opponent, no problem. I fire, and you can see those numbers to the wall, and they aren't very big. No, they are not. I hit him with a viral proc, but that's a kind of a moot point. This weapon's no good. You're not killing anything heavy armor like this. Never. Let's move on to the pros and cons of the Buzlok. Now for pros, the homing attack is really neat. No other weapon has it yet. And it's also useful for firing around corners, keeping you safe. Alright. This is the only real pro in my opinion. On the cons, the projectile speed is not that great. It suffers from annoying recoil. The trace round only really tags one person, not a whole group. If it was a whole group, this would be a very different weapon. And that's kind of, and I guess mediocre damage, kind of, in the end. If you don't tag them, you're not really killing a whole lot with this. Okay, going on to the score for the Buzlok. Damage, I'll give a 6 out of 10. Kind of like without tagging, that's the damage. With tagging, you're not killing a whole lot of people. You're killing only probably 1 to 2 guys around that target, if not the target himself. Accuracy, a 5 out of 10. The only way this is accurate is if you tag someone. Otherwise, you're looking at a kind of sort of medium to close range. More on the close range. Design-wise, though, a 7 out of 10. I like the idea. I just wish it was a little bit more stronger. I can live with the accuracy, just wish it was a bit stronger. Ammo-wise, a 7 out of 10 as well. It's alright ammo. You will run out if you use it excessively, but it's an average amount. Miscellaneous, a 4 to 10. I just feel like this weapon could have been a lot more if it gave it a bit more damage. Maybe have the critical chance alone be good. Just like give us like 25% just on the base. You still add that, still make it to 50% with the homing beacon, but yeah. So in total, I give the Buzlok 28 out of 50. It's good. And that's all it is, just plain good. Now for the judgment for the Buzlok, do I think it's really worth the formas? Personally, I don't think so. I don't believe it's worth it. But there are probably people who like this weapon and are fans of it. I can see that. I don't say the weapon's terrible, I just don't think it's really worth all the formas and all the work for the common player. But hey, you like the weapon, more power to you. As for my opinion, it's what it is. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Take care out there.